Hello guys, welcome to TechRakshith.com. By the way, I'm Rakshith. So in this video, let's unbox and review the 32GB and 3GB variant of Moto G4 Plus. Now coming to the pricing, there are two variants in it. The one with 32 gigs of internal storage and 3 gigs of RAM will cost you 14,000 rupees, and the one with 16 GB of internal storage and 2 GB of RAM will cost you 12,500 rupees. Do mind that there is a external SD card support up to 128 GB. Now let's get into unboxing. Though Lenovo took Motorola company, there is still Motorola branding on the top of the box. As always, there is the device firstly in the box, and it is very lightweight for a 5.5-inch device weighing about just for 155 grams and 9.8mm thick. Let's see what else we get in the box. Now there are some instructions given on the box card where you get the phone to eject the SIM card. Up next, we get a standard micro USB cable. Then we have the adapter, which Motorola calls it a turbocharger. It charges your phone very fastly, about 50% in 15 minutes. It is good that we also get a earphone in the box itself. Let's open it and see. The quality is good, and we get Motorola branding on the earphone. We have the button to end or reject or receive calls from the earphone itself. At the last, we get some paperwork. And you can see that we cannot find Lenovo branding anywhere except on the box. Now let's get into the phone. Coming to the physical overview, it has a 5.5-inch Full HD screen, which is a IPS LCD panel. It has a 401 pixel density and protection Corning Gorilla Glass 3, and it also has 10 multi-touch points. At the right, we have power button and volume rockers. At the left, it is very clean with not having any buttons and SIM tray. As always, there is a micro USB port in the bottom to charge the device. At the top, there is a 3.5mm audio jack. Coming to the rear part, we have a 16 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture, and it has laser autofocus with face detection, and you can record up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. And also you have a dual tone LED flashlight. As always, you can see the Motorola branding at the rear part of the phone, and also you get a secondary noise cancellation microphone at the back. The back panel of the phone is removable, but you can't remove the 3000 mAh battery sealed in with the phone. We have 3 slots dedicated for 2 SIM cards and a memory card expandable up to 128 GB. Coming to the front part, we have a fingerprint scanner. Now don't think it is a home button. It is just a fingerprint scanner which gives haptic feedback when you touch on it, just like iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. Capacitive buttons will be on the screen itself. At the left of the fingerprint scanner, you can find the primary microphone. We get a 5 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture in the front. Now you may be wondering, where is the loudspeaker? The earpiece itself is a loudspeaker in this phone. Now let's boot the device. Now maybe it will be having Android Marshmallow, and Motorola said that it will be getting Android Nougat update. It's taking a lot of time as it is its first boot. Well guys, it is a 4G LTE smartphone with VoLTE support, and even it supports a Geo SIM. At last we can see the Lenovo branding here. So I have set the device up. Let's see what we get in this device. Let's on this thing. Well, let's see what we get. Oh, as always, it has the Google stock Android as its user interface. Let's move into the settings and see what we get. And Motorola promised that it will be getting an Android Nougat update, and they did it. As soon as I unboxed and set this thing up, I got a notification that this phone has an update, and I updated my device. Now let's move into storage and see how much free space will we get out of 32GB. Out of 32GB, 25GB will be available for the user. Coming to the RAM, it has 3GB of RAM, out of which 1.4GB is available for multitasking. Coming to the battery, it has a 3000 mAh battery. I have 52% left. Moving to the camera app, the camera app has improved a lot. It has pretty good zoom in and zoom out, and you can also control the exposure from this screen itself, as you can see, and it also clicks the images pretty quickly. You can swipe for more options. You have 3 options to record a video, 720p in HD and 1080p in full HD at 30 frames per second, and more options. If you don't know anything about the camera app, you can just go through the tutorial. Overall, camera has improved a lot. It captures good images with more detail even in the indoor conditions. Even the front camera performs very well. You can take good selfies from it. Now let's check the audio and video quality. Well, the sound quality was very good and as loud as well, but I felt the bass is not enough. Overall, it is not an issue for the user. Now let's check the video quality.
Hello guys, I am Rakshith and welcome to TechRakshith.com. So in this video,
since Motorola has improved the display, it feels good to watch the videos on this phone. Coming to the processor, it has a Snapdragon 617 octa-core processor with 2 Cortex A53, one clocked at 1.5 GHz and another clocked at 1.2 GHz, and it has an Adreno 405 GPU, which is enough for playing games. You can see that it handled the Subway Surfers pretty smoothly. Now let's move on to another game, that is Temple Run 2, and see how it handles the game. Well, playing simple games in this phone is not an issue, but it may overheat when you play heavy games like Asphalt 8 and Nova 3. Now let's move on to the multitasking test. Well, before opening the games, I had left many apps in the background. Let's see if they are still in the background. WhatsApp is there in the memory. Subway Surfers, yes. MX Player, yes, it is there in memory too. Google Play Music, yes. Chrome, yes. YouTube. Seems like it is having good RAM management. Google Maps, yes, it's there in memory too. Seems like all the apps are in memory. Even the camera. With 3 gigs of RAM, multitasking was pretty good in this device. Thanks to Snapdragon 617 processor, because it loads up the apps pretty quickly, but in terms of loading games, it is quite a bit slower. Now let's set the fingerprint up and see how fast and accurate it is. If you haven't registered your fingerprint, long press on the fingerprint scanner, then a window will appear, then click the next button. It will ask you to keep your fingerprint on the scanner, so keep on pressing the finger in many directions so it will be accurate when you unlock the phone. Now it has been set, let's test that. For the first time, it will ask you for the code you have set it to just confirm whether it is you. Just for the first time you have to give the code. From the second time it will unlock on itself if you keep the finger on it. Well, it is pretty fast and very accurate. It gives taptic feedback when you touch on the fingerprint. Again, if you press the fingerprint, it will turn off the screen. That is the good feature. And another good feature is the screen turns on if you pick it up from the surface. Now there are some good gestures in this phone. If you shake the phone twice, the flashlight will turn on, and if you do it again, the flashlight will turn off. And guys, I forgot to tell you that this camera supports electronic image stabilization. Now coming to another feature, if you rotate your phone horizontally twice, the rear camera will open up. If you repeat the same process, the front camera will open up. If you want more features like this, go into the Moto app, which is inbuilt in the phone, and there are pretty more gestures in it. Now coming to the best feature of this phone is Android 7, because it has some pretty good features. Among them, split screen is one of the best features that you can get in Android 7, because you can watch a video on top or bottom and browse some web, or open Facebook or WhatsApp in the bottom and chat with others. Means you can do two works in the same screen, which is pretty useful. I actually use YouTube to play video on top of the screen. On the bottom of the screen, I open up WhatsApp, Facebook, or do some web browsing, which makes this feature one of my favorite in Android 7. Now coming to the another best feature of Android 7 is double tapping on the multitasking button to switch between two recent apps, which is pretty useful.
Hello guys, welcome to TechRakshith.com.
As I told you before in this video, there is an inbuilt app called Moto in this device. That app is used to access more gestures. You can turn on or disable them through this app. There are pretty more gestures in this. You can go through this if you want more gestures. Well, that's it for this video guys. If you have any more questions about this device, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you will be notified whenever we upload a video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye for now.